The number one rule for making money in crypto is do not be everybody else's exit liquidity. Look, in crypto, the game isn't about how much money you make. It's about how much money you can keep. And in this video today, we're gonna show you all of the ways that historically have always marked the previous bull cycle tops within a matter of days. This is probably the most important video that you will watch all year. And certainly when it comes down to how to prepare to maximize and keep the gains made in a parabolic bull run so that you don't get left holding bags and what we call round tripping. That's when your bag goes from 10 bucks to $1,000 and back to 10 bucks again, but you didn't sell the top. In this video today, guys, we're gonna show you all the tools that you can look at for free and that you should be paying attention to on a regular basis to make sure that you can sell as close to the Pico top of this coming bull run as possible. And it's really important because I'll tell you, I've been through a lot. I've been through basically pretty much all of the crypto market cycles. I've been here since 2012. So all of them pretty much. When you hit peak euphoria and when you think the markets, there's no way they're going low. I tell you that when Bitcoin hit $60,000, $65,000 last bull cycle, no one thought we were near the top. Everyone thought 100,000 was written in the stars and programmed and coming very soon. These are the times that we need to pay extra attention. And this video is being made because I've made these mistakes in the past. I didn't know what to look for. The best thing is that you can take advantage of the lessons that we've had to learn the hard way so that maybe you don't have to. So in this video, guys, today, I'm not gonna give you a fish, but I'm gonna teach you how to fish and more importantly, keep and feed yourself. So if that sounds good to you guys, do me a favor, destroy the like button. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Chasse, and you should just hit that subscribe and bell notification so you can get all the videos that we make on this channel. So what you have here on the screen, my friends, is the typical average retail investor, myself included, oftentimes, right? And that's why we make these videos. That's why we show you the charts. That's why we know where to look at. Caleb says, I don't know what to think right now. Part of me is very bullish. Part of me is very bearish. Part of me wants to buy the dip. Part of me wants to sell the next pump. I'm conflicted, and that's okay. But ladies and gentlemen, to be clear, just so we're clear, we are nowhere near this current bull market top. So this, my friends, is the psychology of a market cycle. Let me know in the comments below where you think we are. The thing to pay attention to here, what is very important, is we need to look at things like euphoria and anger and depression. And you typically want to do the opposite of what your emotions are telling you. So right now, currently, the markets are kind of down and I'm kind of feeling depressed or angry, right? And so maybe right now is a really good time to buy. Historically, and we'll go into more evidence throughout the course of this video, but euphoria, when everyone feels rich and life is wonderful and the markets can't go down, well, it's usually a good time to sell. But this is one indicator of many we're going to be looking at, and this is by far nowhere near the strongest. So as Miles says over here, not a single on-chain metric that has historically preceded a top for Bitcoin was triggered the cycle. If Bitcoin really was on the cusp of a multi-year top, you would expect at least a few of these signals to be flashing. There is still time left in the cycle, in my opinion. Now, CoinGlass put together this really cool thing. I will put the link. In fact, what I'm doing, guys, for you is I'm gonna make a doc and I'm gonna put it in the description below and you guys can open the doc. And what you can do is you can open all these tabs, save the video, this video, and replay it. And I'll make sure that you understand all of these things I'm about to share with you because it'll make a lot of sense. And you can't really pay attention to just any one of these indicators, but you'll see when they start to all have confluence or come together, that's when we need to pay attention. That's when you start to get a real clear idea of, are we looking at a market top? Are we looking at a good time to buy, a good time to sell? These are the most important things to make sure that you are able to take profits and keep your wealth. And actually, this is so important. I feel so strongly about this that right now I'm preparing. It's going to take some time. It's going to take 1 to 2 months or something like that. But I'm building a proper production studio. It's time to take this channel up a notch or 10. And it's also time to make sure that we keep as many gains as possible. So what I'm going to do And you guys can do this at home with me, along with me. But in the studio, probably like on a wall over here, it's not gonna happen in this room, by the way, it's somewhere else. But off the side, I'm gonna have a camera pointed at the whole time so we can always see, I can pan over it during the videos. But we're gonna have all of these indicators we're gonna talk about today on a big screen TV all the time so we don't get distracted. Because when the markets are pumping, there's tons of delusion and we need to pay attention to these indicators. It's super critical, right? Super critical. So let's move on. This is a great post by MV Global. I suggest that you go follow them on X, one of the best funds in crypto, at BuildMV. And what they say here is Bitcoin's price has historically trailed the M2 money supply by 3 months. With M2 rising again, we could see Bitcoin follow suit. A deep dive into liquidity, blah, blah, blah. But the point that they're making is in January, M2 global money supply hit 21.56 trillion, making the largest increase in 30 months. Historically, expanding M2 has fueled investment in risk assets like Bitcoin. And now this chart over here, my friends, is showing you how closely correlated, as we just saw, that the global M2 money supply is to Bitcoin's price, right? We see money supply going up, Bitcoin price going up. Global money supply contracting, Bitcoin price going down, et cetera, et cetera. But the important thing to look at this chart is to see these kind of coiling zones, kind of coiling up like a rattlesnake, right? And just kind of consolidating in these zones. And typically after these little triangles are formed, you see these big breakouts and these big inflation. And what happens here essentially is you've got, during these little triangles are times of economic kind of slowing. You got things like GDP coming down, just money supply contracting, things slowing down. The Fed is pumping the brakes essentially. But eventually they pump the brakes so hard that the markets need relief. And that's what we're talking about now. If you've been watching the channel, you know from the show we made the other day, this is exactly what's happening right now, right? And we see another coil up happening right here, and M2 money supply starting to tick up again. Could we see another huge rally like the times in the past after these coils? And guys, this is just the live chart that I wanted to show you. So this link will be in the document I include for you guys so you can follow along and track the M2 money supply. And when you see it going up, like it is over here, this red line, this is very bullish. Remember, if you watch a channel on a daily basis, you know when we were talking about when the M2 was going down just before, like the last month or whatever, and it was kind of concerning. Yeah, so you guys, I just zoomed in on the chart a little bit. So those of you guys who watch the channel quite a bit know that we covered this back, it was just around here when we covered on the channel, around the third week of February or something. Remember we said that the M2 money supply seemed to be decreasing a lot. Luckily, was just temporary. It threw me off for a second there, but look, it's starting to pump again. Okay, so this live chart, I'm gonna include for you guys in the documents. All right, guys, here we go. At Crypto Tips, I suggest you go follow them at Crypto Tips Real. They talk here about the Pi Cycle Top Indicator. So what they say here is absolutely true. I'll show you that in a second. The Pi Cycle Top Indicator has marked previous cycle tops within days, but right now it's not even close to flashing red. The recent dips, likely just a correction. And you can see here, guys, as we zoom in on the chart, we look at the 2017 bull run here, bam, as this yellow line crosses with the green line, this exactly marked the top, right? You want to go to the 2021 bull market? Boom, here we go. They crosses again, exactly, basically within days, mark the top. This is where you would have wanted to sell. Now, 2021 was a little bit peculiar because it hit, I believe, around 62,000, 64,000 in Q1 or I think it was Q1 of 2021. And then we had the whole summer correction where it came down like 50%. A lot of people thought we were totally in a bear market and it was over and you missed it. But then it started rallying again harder and harder and harder. And this is where the actual peak was at like 69,000. But the moral of the story is, if you would have sold exactly when the Pi Cycle Top Indicator flashed, you would have sold basically the damn near the top, $64,000 Bitcoin versus $69,000 later. You could have just sold and chilled here and waited for the right time to buy after the FTX collapse when Bitcoin crashed back down all the way down here, right? To like $12,000, $15,000, whatever it was. So guys, I'm going to include both of these in the document. This is the blockchain.com one showing the price cycle top indicator. You can also see it clearly here on TradingView. I like it when you turn on the indicator on TradingView because it literally highlights when this happens, right? And if you want to know what exactly is the pi cycle top, it's simply two moving averages. It's the 111-day and the 350-day moving averages. When the 111-day moving average crosses above the 350-day moving average, Bitcoin has historically peaked. Again, you can see that exactly. I've been through this on videos before, but the point is, does this look at all like it's crossed anything? No, we're not even close, my friends, to this. Nowhere, it hasn't even come close, right? Hasn't even come close. Historically, it's always been the best predictor. It's like nailed it every single time before. Okay, guys, now this next indicator is called the Mayer multiple, right? And what we want to look at, again, all links in the document included for you guys, it's all free, is this Mayer multiple, right? And what you want to look for is when this blue line crosses this dotted line, this 2.4 dotted line over here, right? And what it does, as you can see, it crossed over here, marked the top. When it crossed over here, it marked the top. When it crossed over here in 2017, it marked the top. Right? When it crossed over here in 2019, it marked the local top. It also shows you pretty good times to buy too. On the converse, if you look at this other dashed line down here at the bottom, you can see that if you would have bought at these times when it crosses the bottom, there were historically very, very good times to buy. But you always want to sell, bam here, when this thing's crossing the top. As of where are we now? Well, we're nowhere near the Mayer multiple. In fact, it's coming down to maybe, not yet, but it's looking to cross that line downward, which might indicate another good time to buy, but certainly nowhere near the top. Now remember, none of these indicators alone should be used to call a top. We're showing you all of them, and you have to look at all of them and build your case together. So this is the net unrealized profit and loss. It tells you how many traders are currently in profit and how many are currently in loss in open positions, whether they bought Bitcoin and they're currently in profit. So at the current moment right now, you've got essentially 50% of the traders at about a 50% profit. What you want to be careful about is when this gets into extreme euphoria and greed, right? So historically, it's been pretty damn accurate. It's kind of similar a little bit to pi cycle top. As you can see over here, it called the 2017 top pretty much perfectly over here in December of 2017. You would have been fantastic if you had sold then. And the same thing over here in 2021, where it actually crossed dip just into this red line in March 2021, which, like I said in the last indicators, you would have been really good if you had just sold at that point and then just took your profits and walked away for a while. Yes, you could have made a few more percentages if you had waited through that whole time and endured the 50% correction and then waited for it and then sold the Pico top at the end of the cycle. But if you would have just watched the indicators and sold here and here and here, you would have been much, much, much better off. Now, these are called the HODL waves, right? And what this shows you guys is it shows you this maroon color down here are new participants. How many 24-hour Bitcoin holders are in the market, right? And as what you can see in previous market cycle tops, the newbies, the new people who are coming in out of FOMO and wow, Bitcoin's, in 2017 is wow, Bitcoin's at $19,000 buying in. Look at all these new participants. Boom, peak euphoria, peak greed marks the cycle top. So you got to be careful when all these new buyers, this red color over here is people who were in for like 1 day or between 1 day and 1 week. You can see people just piling in money. Prices going up. This black line is a price. Same thing for the 21 bull market. Again, all the indicators flashed that the real blow off top was actually around the end of Q1 in 2021. This is when max new buyers came in, according to HODL Waves. The reason why this cycle in 2021 really went parabolic at the end of the year was the COVID, right? We got the COVID stimulus and just sent the markets to crazy, right? But really all the indicators flashed that in 2021, you would have been better off selling in March. Thank goodness for a lot of people that COVID stimulus happened. Otherwise, the markets probably would have continued. That would have been it, Q1. So you need to pay attention to these. So guys, as you can see, this is the actual live chart. Again, this will be in the doc. And you can see that it does a pretty good job here. Let's zoom in and focus on the 2021 up until current. So you can see in 2021, again, it pretty much called, well, this one called it pretty early. So again, this is why we can't rely on any single indicator. We have to look at all of these together in a picture. But you had a lot of people coming in right around here, again, March of 2021, when we had the first kind of blow off top, recession or COVID, and then boom, stimulus back into it. Now, we are seeing similar kind of patterns, but everything has come back down, right? So we can't look at one indicator alone. So they're also really good at calling local tops. So, I mean, if you're looking at this one over here, this definitely predicted or front ran, you know, basically right around here when Trump launches meme coin. As you can see, oh, my face is in the way. Let me just scroll up a little bit so you can see. But you guys can see over here, like basically front ran the meme coin. That was the kind of the local top, right? So you have the correction. So another indicator of something to look for. Okay, the next one, guys, is this MVRVZ score. Now, again, this link will be in the doc, and down here describes how it works if you care to understand it in detail. But you can see it has also been really, really accurate in telling people when might be a really good time to buy, which is this green zones down here, and when previous market cycle tops have come in. Again, so this red line is where we need to pay attention to. Again, in this cycle, nowhere near it. It also very, very accurately told us when would be a good time to buy Bitcoin, right? And that was like, you know, anytime it's in this green zone. Imagine if you had bought in Bitcoin right here, right? And this is the FTX crash, the bottom, right? So it shows you a good time when to buy, and also when it crosses the red line would be a good time to sell, right? So whenever it crossed the red line in the past would have been the great time to sell. You can see right here, February 21st, 2021 would have been a really good time to sell. As you can see on the chart over here, it's damn near the top. Same thing with the previous bull run, 2017, ended in December, also crossed the red line with aggression, exactly marked the top. Same thing with the 2013 cycle, marked the top as well, but it crosses these red lines, would be good times to sell. And these also get more accurate as time goes on, right? So I don't really talk too much about 2013 because it was so preliminary and just not a lot of data for these things to be populated. And then the next one is the fear and greed index. Now, this is a really interesting chart from Glassnode, better than just the little thing that you see everywhere, the little clock or whatever. This is not something that is good at predicting the top, but it does show you a good time that maybe you should look at a couple things. What I'm really interested in is the extremes of these two things. I'm interested in the extreme red and the extreme blue, extreme fear and extreme greed. And so historically, what you want to really start paying attention to when it enters into extreme greed. And that's when you should start looking at all these kind of charts. Historically, it would actually be a really good time to sell as we are exiting extreme greed. So you can see like, this is when it comes to extreme greed. It's when the price starts coming up, but then you had a bit of correction. And then when it exits extreme greed and goes into regular greed, momentum slowing, would have been a good time to sell at that point. Same thing over here. Look, entering extreme greed, a bit of a panic sell-off, extreme greed, and as momentum's dying, it comes down. Again, one more indicator. By no means is it a cycle top indicator, but one more thing that we should have to look at on a regular basis to help with all the other tools to assess when to buy, when to sell. Another thing that we can look at is things like Google Trends. And not only Google Trends, but we can also see things like App Store, right? We saw when the meme coin super cycle blew off its top, what was the number one app on the App Store? It was a Phantom wallet for meme coins on Solana. I even talked about the channel. I was joking, this should be like a local top signal. It actually was a local top signal because in the previous bull markets, whenever the Coinbase app has rise to number one, it was a top. Retail was coming in like crazy. Google search terms for the word Bitcoin or crypto are something to pay attention to. Now, this is nowhere near as clear as previous indicators because you can see in 2017, it was crazy. The search terms were massive. 2021, you didn't really get up to that kind of level. And we have, even in leading up into the most exciting time of this current cycle, nowhere near these previous two, right? So not enough data, but I think the things to pay attention to in this whole thing is just attention, right? So not only is it like Google search terms, but it's also YouTube views, right? If you look at YouTube views like mine, for example, I'm not saying that, they're just down a lot compared to when there's a lot of retail interest in the markets. So this will also be included in the doc. So you can check out YouTube views over time. Benjamin Cowan from Into the Cryptoverse has a paid one that's much better than this. But this one goes back to April 2022 and it's free. So I'll include this for you too as well. You can just see, it gives you a good idea when more people are coming to the market, when more people are paying attention. When more people pay attention, they put more money in the market, it drives the price up. Guys, I told you before that NordVPN, absolutely you must get. And today, literally as I'm booking a hotel for the weekend, I just discovered a crazy hack. I thought it was a VPN. I disconnected the VPN and let me show you guys what happened. This is another reason why literally NordVPN just paid for like 4 years of itself. Watch this. And I'm booking this hotel for Jessica, my fiance, and my good friend Lex, their birthday. And so we're going to go this weekend to a hotel here in Thailand. So check this out. So I'm now disconnected, right? So it knows, NordVPN knows that I'm currently in Thailand. And I'm booking this hotel. It's $3,394. Watch what happens when I connect to the United States. And now when I refresh this page, it will think that I am currently in the United States. So bam, as you guys can see, by logging in, see connected to the United States over here, I just saved over $300 on this hotel booking. As you can see, booking.com pays for it. Anyway, guys, just one more great utility on top of you must have a VPN. So use my link in the description below, guys. It is an absolute lifesaver in so many ways. Just one more way I discovered today. Okay, guys, and the last one I'm going to show you today is this chart from Nansen. This is now on the free version of Nansen. This is available. Now this is showing you the smart money stablecoin indicator. So this is essentially when it comes down below this red line, this is when people are selling their stablecoins in and buying crypto, buying altcoins, buying Bitcoin. When the orange line starts to go up, it's when people are selling altcoins and Bitcoin to come back into stablecoin. So you can see this green line up here is a panic threshold. It's when max fear is happening. The red line is a euphoria because over here, people are starting to deploy their stable coins back into altcoins, right? And the price of things should be going up at this point. And so this is a good indicator. And why it's interesting is it's not just following typical stable coins, it's following smart money. So wallets that are historically known for trading really well, we're having a lot of money, which is what Nansen considers smart money. So just one more interesting indicator to add to the basket. And combined, guys, if you pay attention to all these, you should have a much better grasp of where we are on the markets, when is a good time to buy the lows, when is a good time to sell the highs, and most importantly, if we can sell the market cycle top, we're all going to be partying on an island somewhere, celebrating, giving each other high fives. And that is the goal of the community. Let's all put all of these on a TV screen that's running 24 hours a day to remind us that not to get euphoric, not to get drunk on being rich, because it happens to everybody. I promise you, it feels like it's going to go up forever and then it falls off a cliff and it's too late. We need to pay attention. These are the indicators that help you do that. If you like the video, share it with your friends. It's very important. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Bye.